I'm asking members. Okay, so it is YouTube live. Okay, thank you. Dominic, can you meanwhile also play the role of tech master, like muting everyone on mute or and highlighting and spotlighting?
Sure, I'll do that.
Thank you.
So I'll just put everyone on mute.
Good evening, professional speakers and guests. Why do you think only the human species on the earth have grown so much? Is it because we have heart? No. Many of the species have hearts. Is it because we have communication? No. Almost all of the species communicate with each other. Is it because of the brain? No, because octopuses have 9 brains. We evolved because we are a social animals. We share our thoughts to rest of the people. We build from what we have learned from earlier lessons, and then we help each other to grow and communicate better. Here at Professional Speakers, we are gathered here not only to become a speaker who is professional, but also to become a better communicator, because I feel the entire problem that we have in the world is based on the communication. Hence, we don't have to become only a good speaker. We have to solve the problems of the world at large. We don't have to only win the world championship of public speaking, our ultimate goal is to make this entire world a better place. I'm Mukesh Thakur. I'm so much excited to bring you a meeting with our beloved keynote speakers who are expertise in their fields, and they are going to help you not becoming to win your world championship of public speaking for this year, but to become a greater speaker, to become a good human being, and make our lives and the world a better place to live. With these thoughts, are we all excited about our 115th meeting? Are we excited about? Can we have some noise? Can we hear some voice or some enthusiasm?
Yay!
Yes, we are.
Thank you very much. With this spirit, let's jump into 125th meetings and also the first meeting of the 21st year of 21st century of professional speakers, where eloquence meets eloquence. We provide a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before entering into our meeting, I would like to welcome all our guests, and I would like you to applaud as I take their names. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Rudra Dev Rai Chaudhary, DTM. Please welcome Geeta Kashyap. Please welcome Sandeep Gupta. Please welcome Mohit. Please welcome Sneha. Please welcome Arshi Chadha. Please welcome Muhammad. Please welcome Vinita. And please welcome Neha. Dear members and guests, before we go to our meeting, it is our custom that the members of professional speakers, follow our short-term goals and we track it every week. So before going to our meeting, I would like to share the screen with you, and please state your short-term goals as I take your names.
Good evening, everyone. This is Anshupriya Prasad, and my short-term goal is to improve my listening skills, and I am working on this. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My short-term goal is yet to be updated, but I aim to do it by the next meeting. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Hani Khanduja. I had started my HPL production project on 30th of December. So the goal and the vision is set. In this week, I intend to create a team and get my committee on board. So, and yes, it needs to be updated on the slide. So I'll do that. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Mukesh Thakur and my short-term goals at professional speakers are fourfold. The first is to reduce grammatical errors to zero. Second is to smooth flow of structured thoughts. Third is deep voice, flawless enunciation and pronunciation. And four is to upload a professional video. For this first two goals, I am writing 1000 words every day. For this week, I have written 7,000 plus words, and I have got an error of 40 for every 1,000. My goal is to reduce it to zero, and I want to achieve it by January 31st. For the second goal, I am reading 11 pages every day, and this week I have read 77 pages. My goal is to reach 4.5 out of 5 out of audience poll. And for the fourth goal, I am yet to decide blueprint, and my goal has to be achieved by February 24. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are 4. I'm working on 2 of them actively. One is reading and writing. So I read almost 10 pages a day, and I write stories. I'm not counting the words, but since during the last 2 months, I've written around 7 stories. And uploading the video in one video in a month, that is not taking place somehow. Because I have been engaged by 2 companies as their HR consultant. So, but I will be streamlining my short-term goals soon. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I have 4 short-term goals. The first one is to reduce the crutch words to less than 4 in an 18-minute speech. The second is to have 0 grammatical errors. The third is to use at least 4 new phrases or words in an 18-minute speech and at least 1 new or unfamiliar word or phrase in a 5 to 7-minute speech. The fourth goal, which is the most critical and difficult for me to achieve, is to have 0 defect on time limit. I did better last week on the time limits part, and I had just 1 hour in a 10-minute speech and 0 grammatical errors. I was not pointed out for using new and unfamiliar words in the last week. Thank you so much.
Ravinder, I guess, is not here yet.
No, he's not.
Sandeep is here yet?
Not available. Shivpriya is not here either.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of our members? Now I am excited. The wait is over, and I am excited to bring you the most awaited event of this year, and for which I am going to introduce you the person who is more excited than me. because Rudra is not only our favorite speaker, and Devina is more excited to bring him on the stage. And I thank on behalf of all the members to gather the entire arrangement for the benefits of professional speakers and the guests. Toastmaster Devina is a master's in economics by education, a climate change and sustainability consultant by profession, and a self-proclaimed lifelong student of dance by passion. She is a budding speaker and a storyteller. Devina is working towards using humor, ethos, logos, and pathos effectively in her speeches. She is an epitome in communication. She is a great orator and a great leader and my biggest inspiration. With a huge round of applause, can we invite distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi?
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh, for that wonderful introduction and such a warm welcome into this meeting and into our first meeting of this year, that's 2021. As excited as I am about this year, I am about this meeting because we have not one but two amazing speakers and trainers coming in and delivering their knowledge, passing their wisdom on to us so that we can perform better at contests. And as Mukesh rightly pointed out, not just in contests, but in speaking in general, in our endeavor to become better public speakers. The structure of the meeting for the day is as follows. You saw the first segment, which was the business segment that we conduct in every single meeting that we have at professional speakers. The second segment will be the workshop, which will be conducted by distinguished Toastmaster Rudra. The third segment is an activity that Rudra has planned for all of us, where we'll be engaged to think and to apply some of the concepts that we learned today, followed by a session which will be a special module on how we use a different tech aspects, in the sense, how do we place our camera, how do we set our room to perform better at contests, and in general have a better virtual presence. Somewhere in between, which is right after the workshop, we'll also have a good question and answer session where we can all bombard easily our dear trainer Rudra, and as he is very patiently, he'll answer all our queries. The meeting is incomplete without feedback. While today we don't have an extensive feedback session, we will hear from our timer, that's distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, on how we fared in terms of time. I hope we do well. Before we jump right into the workshop, let's please have a round of applause for our timer as well. He's taken this role last minute due to our scheduled timer having some tech difficulties. So please, let's appreciate our timer for the day, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Also, a note of caution to the facilitators, please do pin him. He'll be showing the cards by hand. I can't see his video. Raj sir, your video is off. If you could just turn it on, we'll be able to see cards as you display them.
My video is on, I think.
Now it's on. Wonderful. All right. So let's jump right into our first formal session, that is the workshop. And to conduct the workshop, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you distinguished Toastmaster Rudradev Roy Chaudhary. He has been a Toastmaster for 6 years, in which he has served as an era director, won the district level humorous speech contest, and bagged a podium finish twice at the district finale of the international speech contest. Currently, he is serving as the Division Q Director for District 41. Please put your hands together for distinguished Toastmaster Rudradev Roy Chaudhary. How to be a great speaker. How to be a great speaker. Rudra.
Thank you, Devina, and everyone at Professional Speakers Toastmasters Club. Good afternoon to all of you on this beautiful Sunday morning. I hope that we will all learn through this small workshop that I have planned on how to be a great speaker. Now, this is in fashion these days because after the pandemic, we have had this fortune of hearing from so many amazing speakers just because we are now at a virtual field or a virtual medium. And now we can make use of whatever resources we have to call in more professional speakers, established speakers, world champions of public speaking, and all of them come and communicate on how to give a good speech, how to be a better speaker. And that is the reason this particular workshop was a little pressurizing for me, because on some level I had to compete with all those world champions who were delivering speeches and accessible workshops to everyone. So I thought that I will go on and talk about the things that I know how to do. I know how to be a good speaker. That is where we are going to start off with. Excuse me, there is something. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So we can start off with how to be a speaker first before we know how to be a great speaker. Then maybe throughout the course of this workshop, we can go for how to be a good speaker. And if you really want to take that plunge, and let me tell you, I will ask you before we take that plunge, do you want to take that last step and want to become a great speaker? I will tell you how to do it. And it's really simple, but just because it's simple, it won't mean that it is easy. So be careful about that. So let's start with how to be a speaker and what is the basics of a speech. So there are two ground rules I would establish here. First is that I will be asking questions in between, and I hope that if you answer or give me some responses, it will be a good interactive session where we gain more from it. The second is that since it is a workshop, the name workshop has the word work in it. So we all have to work together through this workshop, and that is how we can make most of it. So now first, I would request you all to put on the chat boxes the response to the question that I'm going to ask. What do you think? Listen carefully. What do you think is the single most important thing or element of a speech? Just one word. What do you think is the single most important element of a speech? You're most welcome to put it on the chat box. Let us hear some answers. Confidence, content. I got some really good answers. Theme, message, communication, structure. Thank you all for that. All those answers. But I would say confidence is one of the factors, but confidence without content is difficult to digest. Sometimes we see that in some of the speeches. I won't name from whom. And then we have content, a lot of content in the speech that we have in sometimes in debates, a lot of content, or maybe news readers, they give a lot of content, but then the intent is somewhere missing. And finally, we have people who have messages in their speeches, and the entire speech revolves around a message. Everything we do revolves around how we can make the message more prominent. And I feel personally that that message is what makes a good speech or a good speaker. And I would say that is the first step to being a great speaker. Now, all those people I have named here or shown here, they are bound by one single concept. Do you know what that is? Can somebody put it on chat for us to ponder over? What is the common tying element? You can't say they're all good people because we have Hitler here. You can't say they're all Indians because again there are Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela there. Belief. Yes, one of them said belief. Thank you so much. And I feel that it's not just the belief that they hold. Yes, Devina, that's not just the message that belief that they hold, but the belief that they can give to someone else. They mobilized people because they had a singular idea or a message that they were able to drive people or motivate people with. And that is where I want to lead you. A great message or a great speech has a message, a tying element that takes people through it. And everything in that speech, everything about that speaker goes towards that message. If you see all the famous speeches of world champions, even this year's person, the Michael Carr, who said that we have to make the most of our lives. And he talked about such beautiful incidents about his friend, departed friend, or someone maybe 5 years ago, Muhammad Khatami said that the power of words is the most important. Every element of a speech was based on that single message. So keep in mind, most important element is the message in the speech. And we will walk through how to get better at delivering that message. So I saw a wonderful TED talk a few years ago. What is communication? So the person was very closely tied with TED, and obviously he had heard hundreds of TED talks, and he brought out distilled the idea of what is the major element of a TED talk. So this is me. Basically, this is every speaker on stage, and this is the audience's brain. So the idea of a speaker or a speech or communication is to put an idea or a message from the speaker's mind to the listener's mind. Speaker to listener. But it is not just from my mouth to their ear. A lot of people think that if I am audible, I've communicated that message. And that is where a lot of people lose track. If you want to speak, if you want to become a speaker, it is enough for you to speak. That is the definition of a speaker. A speaker speaks. But a communicator communicates, which means they take the onus upon themselves to communicate an idea in the speaker's brain to the listener's brain. And to reach that barrier, and let me tell you, it's not easy. The barrier between the ear and the brain, even though the distance is this much, it has a lot of barriers. It has the barrier of attentiveness, it has the barrier of prejudice, it has the barrier of distraction. A lot of things are there. And that is why great communicators do not stop at the ear. They go till the brain. And how they go to it, there are lots of ways to do it. They use words. Of course, the first way to speak is they use words, but they also use visualization. They use speeches, they use pictures. Even right now, we are having a presentation. Why? Because it's a visual aid. They use audio and video. They use media, and you'll see that I will also use a bit of it for us to make things easier. Now let's talk about the first important element of a speech. When we start off a speech, we start off with something that grabs our attention, something that will help people to come to the same frame of mind where we are as leaders, as orators. And that is when the communication process starts. Can somebody tell me in the chat, what is a hook according to you? What is if I ask you one line definition of a hook, what is a hook? What could be a hook? Any answer is fine. Don't worry about being wrong. Just give me an idea of what do you think is a hook? Attention grabbing. Thank you. To engage somebody or something. Yes, that is what the basic definition of a hook is. Hook is what hooks the audience. They get you into the speech. Anything that grabs attention. There was this one great speaker, Darren LaCroix, who came on stage and fell flat on his face. And that was his hook. Everyone was glued to his speech and he was able to deliver his message. To get into people's minds, you have to create that first connection. And then after you create that first connection, is your opportunity. You have bought 20 to 30 to 40 seconds from the audience to give that elevator pitch that why you should listen to my speech. What is important about my speech? So those next 30, 40 seconds after the 15-second hook is the most important part of a speaker, because that 1 minute, the 20 seconds of the hook and the 40 seconds of the rest of the part, also called a blurb. You'll see in the back of the book, we have a blurb or a summary. So that is what we'll talk about, why you are giving the message, what is the meaning of the message, why the audience should be invested for the next 7 minutes in your speech. Now I'll give you a very good example of a blurb that is by one of my favorite speakers, David Henderson, and it is here in his video. So please listen carefully. After we have this video, I will ask a few questions. It's just a 1 minute video, so there should not be a problem of attentiveness. Please listen to each and every word that the speaker is speaking. And if it is not audible, please let me know.
The best doctor in the whole wide world does more than stitch up cuts, push pills, and take out tonsils. He gives people hope. Fellow Toastmasters, hope is the best medicine, because you can't always cure people, but you can give them strength to push on and And that's what hope does. It gives you strength even when you're dying. Now, Miss Mamo was obviously dying. She had lots of tubes. Tubes to her wrist, tubes to her nose, tubes to this big machine that went doop, doop. She had thick, beautiful hair once, but it was all gone. And so were all the relationships that she took for granted. And she accepted dying from cancer because she had to. But nobody can accept dying alone without hope. And they don't have to. They just need help from the best doctor in the whole wide world.
That is it, friends. That is the video. And now let me ask you the questions that I have talked about or discussed till now. So first, can you tell me what is the hook? And why is it the hook? You can, if it is too cumbersome to type, please feel free to unmute and answer. It is okay. I think that will be a more easier way to communicate. We just have 19, 20 people, should not be a problem. Yeah, you're welcome to unmute and give your opinion. What is the hook? What do you think is the hook? Do you want me to repeat that part of the video? Maybe that will be easier for you. Hope. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Hope is the message, or what is the essence of the speech. The hook is the first 1.5 lines. Said the best doctor in the whole wide world does not just push pills, stitch up cuts, and take out tonsils. He gives people hope. You see, he gives people hope. When he said that about the best doctor in the world, that brought out a different perspective about the entire medical business. It's about giving hope. So that was the hope. And then he said that fellow Toastmasters, hope is the best medicine, because you can't always cure people, but you can give them the courage to push on even when they're dying. So then he gives a short summary of what his entire speech is about. So the first 15 seconds was about establishing his message and why it is important. Second 15, 20 seconds is about telling that what is the speech is about. And if you see the entire speech on YouTube, it's there. If you want a copy, I can give you the link. It is there, and it talks about just the things he spoke in the first 15, 20 seconds. But he was able to establish that idea. And in the next 40 seconds, can somebody tell me what was strikingly different about the way we speak and the way he spoke in the next 40 seconds? There are so many things to learn from those 40 seconds. Can someone tell me anything that they learned or got to know from that, the rest of the speech? Devina wrote the story. Is it for the next answer, or no? Not that one. Okay. It's okay. No, you don't have to be afraid of being wrong. Just tell me if you learned or recall what he said. I can tell you what he said. Okay. Sound gave visualization. Thank you, Neha. That was a wonderful answer. I'll tell you, I'll repeat for the others if you don't remember. He said, now Miss Mamo was obviously dying. She had lots of tubes. Tubes through her wrist, tubes through her nose, all that went to this big machine that went doop, doop. She had thick, beautiful hair once, but now it is all gone. And with it gone are all the relationships that she took for granted. Now she could afford dying from cancer because she had to. But nobody should die without hope, and they don't have to. They just need help from the best doctor in the whole wide world. Now, what do you think? I got some responses. Dramatization, character development, very good. Used onomatopoeia. What is that, really? Can you unmute and tell me?
So it's what he said. Boop, boop. So when you make the sound, the word sounds exactly how the sound is made.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's a very,
Cluck,
very
cluck.
clever message.
Yeah. Cluck, cluck. Beep.
Thank you. And I think you guys have hit the nail on the head. The visualization, the sound effects, like you said, the onomatopoeia, the way the sounds were able to connect to us, because we have heard that sound every time we went to the hospital, or we've talked about how we have hair and we lose it due to cancer. So even though he did not talk about the failed relationships Miss Mamo had, how she got cancer or the entire process, just by showing the last stage or the current position or the current situation, he was able to build a lot of backstory, lot of backstory. And that was a genius move. And it's not just this speech. There's another speech called Aviators that he won the world championship with. Unfortunately, it's not on YouTube. But if you see it, you'll see what is the power of a backstory and the way you can compress words using sounds, using callbacks, using references. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Because every speaker on the international speech contest will have 7 minutes. It's a level playing field. All of we have 7 minutes. How we use those 7 minutes will define whether we get the fourth position at the club contest or we win the world championships of public speaking. So be very careful about this. Now let us talk about a few other basic elements of a speech. So this is where I talk about things that are generally known by a lot of people, but I want to go through them because sometimes when we become advanced, we miss them. So first is the speech has to be easily understandable because unless it is understandable to us, relatable to us, or things that we know happen, we will not cross that ear to brain barrier. Maybe a person here is a wonderful doctor and has great medical discovery, but is speaking in a room of engineers and they give a lot of medical references, won't be easily understandable. Is the content tying together with the message? If it is not, then people get lost. A lot of people get into this flow of, okay, I wrote this line and it's really good. Somehow I have to fit it into my speech. Somehow, I don't care whether it is tied to the message or not. But since I wrote it, I like it. It's sort of their child, so they don't want to kill their child. But they have to, if they have to fit it into those 7 minutes. So understand, ask yourself, is the content related to the message? If it is not related to the message, you need to think about cutting it out. If you are not sure whether your content is related to the message, sometimes it happens. At that point, you have to see whether that particular line, just that particular line, if you listen to it or read it, are you able to connect it to the message? Honestly ask yourself. If that does not happen, you have to think how it is related. So that is my idea of how to do it. And the second is the language understandable? So sometimes words scare other listeners, like onomatopoeia or other words. Like there was this lady who gave an icebreaker many years ago, and I was her unfortunate evaluator. So she was a wonderful writer, but she spoke the way she wrote. So basically, she wrote a wonderful, very complex speech, and then she came and memorized and delivered it. And I did not know half of the words. So there was this word replete in her speech, and she used it so many times. And I was struggling throughout her speech because at that time we didn't have 4G. So I was struggling somehow to find out the meaning of that word from Google. And then finally, when I found it, it just meant plenty. I said, why didn't you say plenty? What is wrong with you? So it was pull off or something similar. And just want to communicate to you that using great words that visualize situations to your audience is great. It's wonderful. It's the best thing that poetry has brought to us. But we have to think about the level of the audience to which we are speaking, so that during the speech, there does not create a barrier between the ear and the brain. So that is my message to you. That is why it's imperative to use language that is easily understandable. The second message I have is about originality. So it is not about your own story, just your own story. It is about the originality of the speech. Now, here people know in the contest, if you don't give an original speech, you get disqualified. That's a different thing. But even if you give influence speeches or mildly similar speeches or things that have already been spoken about, and there's no original take to it, people may not be hooked to it if they have heard it before. So that is one thing that the social media and this digital media has given us. We have got a lot of content, and immediately the listeners know they have heard it before or they have seen it before. the idea is not novel, they won't pay attention to it. So the idea is that whatever you bring, so even a very simple message, very common message, that words are powerful, have won people the world championship of public speaking. How they were able to do it? They were able to bring out their own personal experiences and make them original, to bring out actions, to bring out humor on top of it, and a lot of other visual cues and structures in the speech, the way he delivered, all of that together brought out a unique take on a very common topic. So think about how your speech is different in the way how you can bring out a different view to the message, or how you can bring out a different message altogether. And finally, this is the most important aspect, and I know you all know this is important. It has to be personal, because personal gives you two advantages. First, it is more easy to be original if it is personal. Like even today, I'm giving this workshop on how to give a good speech when hundreds of people have given such a workshop. But I am giving it from my personal experiences, and that is what is making it different. Also, I have derived my experience from my personal experiences, or derived my skills from my personal experiences. When I say about them, it is more easy to be adopted or understood or observable. So that ear-brain barrier is broken by like the mistrust that people have, that okay, saying that, but what is the proof it works? They won't say it out loud, but they say it in some way. They think of it in some way. So the way you get out of it is bring out a personal take to the speech. Now, finally, I talk about the message shaping. So there are many things I could talk about today, like how to give a persuasive speech, how to give a more inspirational speech. If you are making a speech about moderating an audience, how do you moderate the audience in a Q&A session? How to give a humorous speech, what are the humorous elements? So many things about so many ways of speaking. Can't cover it in a single setup. But let me tell you this. I found it from experience that Toastmasters is really good at absorbing new technologies in speaking and putting them into Toastmasters projects. And I'll tell you a very simple way of judging that. So when I was in Toastmasters for the first 2 years, I would just write speeches, memorize them to the letter. To the letter. And believe me, I'm not joking. If I missed out one line of a speech, I would fumble and I would go freak out, because that was the way I used to practice my speeches. And then I found it really difficult on a stage where there are lots of people and lots of variables. On the district stage, there's a light shining on your face, there are so many people looking at you, tend to forget. And whenever that happens, I could never control myself. So there was this problem. It was faced by our world champion of public speaking 2016, Darren Day, as well. And he said that my mentor gave me a very good technique. His technique was to remember or memorize your speech in parts, practice it in parts, and understand that you forget one part, how do you merge the other parts or transition between them impromptu on the stage. So learning that impromptu skill of constructing or semi-constructing a speech on stage was something that the world champion discovered with a lot of mentoring, and then later it was put in our icebreaker in Pathways. You know that Pathways worksheet, there are like 3 points where you have to write them and then construct the speech on the fly. That is what should have been taught to me right from the icebreaker. Nobody taught me that. And I hope that all of us learn it. And this is just one example. I've learned so many from the persuasive speaking project 9 of the CC manual, or I'll say the humorous speaking and the storytelling manuals are absolute gems. And I'm sure that Pathways is just similar to it. So this is what I want to tell you. The basics is learn how to create a hook, how to create a message, how to structure it, how to bring out new experiences, and then how to construct the entire speech using the skills you learn in Toastmasters. And ultimately, I'll talk about how to end it. So the ending is about solving a problem. So this is a little controversial. People say you just have to have a conclusion. But I feel personally a speech, a winning speech or a great speaker always solves a problem. If you're not solving a problem, there's a question of why you are giving a speech, bringing out a new perspective. What are they going to do with that perspective? They're going to solve a problem. So why don't you solve the problem for them? Why give half a speech? So that entire thing about that the gap between the ear and the brain. That's what I'll be talking about throughout the speech. The gap between the ear and the brain. There is a mistrust if you just tell people that this is the solution, unless you show that you have solved it yourself. So try and see if you can solve the problem by yourself. And if the problem is solved, obviously it's going to end on a positive note. So if those two are done, all is left is to reinforce the message that you have, reinforce them, put it at the end, and help summarize the entire speech of why you spoke about it. Now, this was how to be a speaker. Now, let us talk about how to be a good speaker. You'll think, oh my God, he's talking about how to be a speaker, and then what is going to say how to be a good speaker. I'm going to spend a little time here, maybe 5-6 minutes, to talk to you about the differentiating factor of when you know the basics, how are you going to go to the next step? How are you going to take the speech and make it more lively? We spoke about it a little. We talked about the sounds, we talked about the message and how to twist it, how to use words that are more colorful, creative. Little more on that aspect now. So this is one line. Okay, these are now few exercises we are going to do, small exercises. So this line, please read it very carefully. I didn't know you wanted it so badly. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I need a volunteer who's going to read out this line, but read it out in a particular emotion. Read it out in a particular emotion, and the emotion will be something I will message them privately on chat. Okay, so whatever emotion I give, just read it out in that emotion. Anybody who wants to volunteer, please raise your hands or ping on chat. Okay, so DTM Raj raised his hand first, so fastest hand first. I will give him first, and then you can come next to me. So, Mr. DTM Raj, you have the line here. I just give you the emotion on chat. Okay, and read it out in that emotion, please.
So I didn't receive the message.
It's on chat. I sent it to Raj Mehta. Is there another account for your name?
No.
I will send it.
You could send it to Timer Raj Mehta, perhaps.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. There's no time. Oh, okay. Yeah, here it is. Now, do you see?
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
I didn't know that you wanted it so bad.
Okay, others now guess. What was the emotion? You can unmute and speak. It's okay.
Sad.
Yes, very nice. Who said that?
Anshupriya.
Yeah, Anshupriya, very nice. Thank you for that answer. So next volunteer, Devina. I will ping you on chat. Okay, this is an easy one. Let's try it.
I didn't know you wanted it so badly.
Okay, what is the emotion?
Anger?
Close.
Excitement,
What?
maybe.
Oh God, you're so way off. Who else?
Irritation?
Somewhat, yes. Good. Irritation is the one. So is it again Anshupriya?
Yes.
Are you a psychologist by any chance?
Thank you.
That's what I intended. I think Devina spoke it with a little more enthusiasm. Like she hated that person so much. I didn't know you wanted it so badly. It's like that way. But it's good. You're going in the right direction. Next, I think Samod also volunteered. So I will give you emotion. So this is the last one. Samod, try it out.
I didn't know you wanted it so badly.
Yes. Tell me, guys, what is the emotion?
Surprise?
Surprise. Like.
No.
Concern?
I'm sorry?
Concern?
Not
Like concern for someone.
No, not excitement. Okay. No, now it's just going to be like you guess every emotion. Something's going to fit. Don't do that. Let me give it to someone else as well. Then we'll see like why this did not work out. So who wants to do it? Anybody else? Mukesh. Yes. Mukesh.
Can I?
Yeah, I'm giving you. So just check the chat.
I didn't know you wanted it so badly.
Okay, thank you. So what do you think?
Anger.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. So what do you think was the difference between Mukesh and Samod? Why were you not able to catch the emotion from Samod?
Because he was more concerned. He was sounding more concerned about the next person.
I think the visual also helped. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. Visual helped. And yeah, actually, I think I did not. Yeah.
Probably the stress and the word on which that stress is placed, that plays a bigger role, because Mukesh stressed it on no.
Yeah, that's actually the right answer to all these questions. How do we know which part of the what emotion is portrayed is more or less on what word it is stressed on and how the stress happens? So I didn't know. If you stress on I, it sounds defensive. So I didn't know you wanted it so badly, and if you stress on so, it is irritation. And if you stress on badly, that means like you don't think it should be bad, and you have a little bit of expression on it, and it turns to anger. So all those words, they play a part on how you portray or convey an emotion. Now, some of them overlap, like irritation and anger, they are somewhat similar. So a lot of facial expression plays a part on it, but it's in the same ballpark if you modulate the voice in a better way. So I will give you a few more examples. I want you to identify why the lines were sounding the way they were. So I'll give you a few well-known examples. You guys all know. Oh, so this I'll come to later. I'll just give these questions first. So this is a speech you must have all heard. I want you to now look at it very critically, and I will ask a few questions based on them. Okay, just listen. This is a very small clip, 15-20 second clip. Listen to it very carefully. Oh God, what is happening? Yeah.
I have a son who's 4, and he had this bad habit of writing on the walls with crayons. And one evening I walked into his room and he's going at it, just writing and drawing and so on. And I said, hey. Are you stupid? Don't you ever do that again. And guess what happened? He did it again.
So there are 3 very distinct emotions in this short clip. First is, hey, are you stupid? That part. What is that emotion? Can someone tell me?
Concern.
Irritation.
That's irritation.
Irritation, yes, not concern. Concern is hey. No, so it's like hey. Irritation. And why do you think it's irritation? Between concern and irritation. See, concern is hey, and irritation, hey. So what is difference between them?
The pace.
The pace and the way the word is ending. So the end part, the end syllable is going up. Are you
sharper?
Are you stupid? There's a concern with are you stupid? See, it's going down. Irritation, are you stupid? Going up. Okay. Then there is another emotion that's coming just after that irritation. What is that?
Anger.
Anger, and there's a threat, right? There's a threat as well. Don't you ever do that again. There's a lot of stress on ever, because if you do it again, I'm going to see that's the threat. So why is it a threat? Because you're stressing on ever. or again is also fine. Don't you ever do that again. But ever is better. And lastly, there's this master stroke of emotion. What is that last emotion?
He's surprised or shocked.
No, not surprised, not shocked.
Giving up.
Ah, he did it again. That would be surprise.
Just
Yes.
giving up, like,
Did
it again.
Rejection, defeat. And guess what? He did it again. You see? There's this breath and this voice, it went down. That means he's given up. He's lost his battle. So see that 15, 20 seconds, just words, but with the right emotions, change so much about that speech. So much. Okay, next, let me ask you this. Please, you have to answer correctly. Okay. Why is it not working? Yeah.
First year in college, Nasser got straight A's. And he thought to himself, this is it. This what will finally make my dad proud. He picked up the phone. He called his dad. Dad, I got straight A's. Are you proud? Please tell me you're proud, father. Yeah, listen, son, I'll have to call you back.
I'm busy. The last word got missed because when I cut the video. So what do you think? What are the three emotions? I already have the yellow card. Please go quickly.
Expectation. He was expecting expectations.
Expectation is the first one. Yes. Second?
Longing.
Longing. Very good. Third? The father. What was the emotion of father?
Indifference.
Indifference, apathy. Very good. See, you're going very well. So why do you think it was indifference? I just asked the last one. Okay. Why do you think? Anybody else except Devina? You were already answered very well. Others, please answer.
Indifferent because he wasn't much concerned, it seems. He wasn't concerned.
Yeah, that's the inference. But see, as analysts of the speech, and if we have to write the speech, we have to understand why it was indifferent. So there was a stress, subtle stress on the word busy. I'll have to call you back. I'm busy. Yeah, listen, son. I'll have to call you back. I'm busy. See that? That's a subtle indifference. So that is where I want to stress on. Are you feeling what you should feel? So you can't go to each and every word and see where to stress and what. But when you are giving more and more lines, you have an emotion in mind that, okay, I want to feel like this. When you say that line out loud, are you feeling that emotion? If you're not feeling it, tweak it in a way, ask someone else that how do I change it in a way that I want to, all those things. So please be careful about that. And the next thing is your voice and gesture adding or subtracting? Very important, very. Some people, when they see that body gesture and voice modulation project in the CC manual, they get really excited. Okay, I want to try out every gesture possible. Every gesture. So there's this lady who was having the speech and she said that the sun is shining and the flower is blooming and my heart is beating. Everything had a gesture. And that subtracted from the message, distracted people. So only have gestures that have meaning, have value, and then go from there. Now, friends, is the most important part of the speech, of this workshop. How to be a great speaker. And that's very close to the red card. You'll think that I have wasted your time, but friends, this is what we have built up to. So how to be a great speaker is the last subject that we are going to go forward with, but it's mostly philosophical. So first, let me ask you, how many of you here want to be a great speaker? 1, 2, 3. Okay, all of you raised your hands. I'm taking a screenshot. Okay, later I'm going to hold you accountable to what you have raised your hand to. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. But let me tell you, the journey from a good speaker to a great speaker, it's very difficult, but it is very simple. How many of you know this person? You just heard him, right? David Henderson. Just heard him. He's the world champion of public speaking 2010. 2010? Yeah, 2010. So he spoke about in a workshop how he found it really difficult to compete and win a world championship even after 3 years of being in public speaking. And a lot of people come to him and say that, how do I become a world champion in 2 years or 6 months, in a year or 6 months? And he says that it takes 2 years minimum of concentrated oration to find your voice. That's the ballpark figure, 2 years minimum. You can cut corners, get through ballads before that, but you won't find your voice, and somewhere along the way, you might lose out. Now, that 2 years does not have to be in Toastmasters. It could be in your profession. Suppose you're a trainer, or suppose you're a teacher or a lawyer, like David Henderson, he was a lawyer. Ramona Smith was a teacher. So a lot of people have the skills from some other place. Thank you, DTM Raj. I'll just finish in 2 minutes. I'm done. So this is where we have to be very conscious on what sort of a time frame we are setting first, and second is what are we going to do in that time frame. So this is my second slide I have, just an example. So we see a lot of football, professional football, and a lot of people are proficient at other things as well. Like Devina loves dancing. Maybe there are players here, cricket or table tennis. All of them have one thing in common. They all can do extremely complex moves while playing. Maybe they could be passing through 100 yards of other players and then score a goal at a perfect angle, and it looks extraordinary to us. But do you think if they thought about each and every step they are taking while they are taking it, would they be able to score that goal anyway? It's not possible. It's not possible unless they are subconsciously, it's in their mind on how to go and do that. But the only way to get there is practice. It's practice in the right direction, building up sequentially, working through our projects in Toastmasters, going to give speeches, giving more and more workshops, planning out projects with your mentor. That is where the actual magic happens. It does not happen on the world stage. And if you want to do that, the trick is to let go of many things that we hold in ourselves. So I'll tell you just one thing that I want all of you to take back. If there's the only thing you're taking back from this workshop, and that's the paradox of give and take. If you want to be a great speaker, you have to take that pledge that as a speaker, you're on the stage to give and not to receive. To give and not to receive. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're on stage to receive something or to keep something, receive something as in receive accolades or receive approval or acceptance, or keep your pride, keep your self-esteem, then those things come into play when you make a mistake or you mess up somewhere. And when that happens, you're not giving your best. Even though it sounds philosophical, it is the truth. It has happened to me and it's happened to a lot of people. Even when I walked to Mark Brown and I told him that, sir, I gave my best at awards at the district stage and I still could not give my best. Something is stopping me. I don't know what it is. And he said, it's yourself, because you're expecting something out of the speech. You're expecting to win in a contest, and that is the last thing you should do. If you expect to win, you'll never win, because that expectation boils down to your head. You make a mistake somewhere in the speech. Suppose you give a crutch word, or you have to say a line again. And then you think, oh my God, that judge will mark me less on grammar. The grammar has 10 points on the ballot. And then you go to calculations. Oh my God, the other speaker got 8 and I got 7 or I got 6. I don't know whether you do it that much, but I'm just giving an example that when you let go of that thought, because that eats up space on your mind, you let go of that thought, other things become easier. When you get up on stage, get up from the seat, leave the pride and the self-esteem and the expectations on the seat, and come up and give a speech of a lifetime. Because communication is an art, and no art is complete till it consumes the artist. Thank you so much. And now let us be open to questions. So I know that I overshot the time, so let us reduce the Q&A part a little. And the allotted time, I think, is 55. So when it is 55 minutes, please let me know. I mean, total allotted time. So any questions from anyone on anything? On chat or
Members and guests, feel free to unmute yourselves as well.
Feel free to unmute yourselves. Yes, please.
I have a question, Rudra.
Yes.
You said that we should end on a positive note.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are too serious and you want to leave the audience with a thought, with the idea that something is not good enough in the world and we need to take action. We haven't yet taken that action, so the problem has not been solved. But together we can take an action. So leaving them on a hopeful note, I can understand, but leaving them on a positive note, is that not taking certain subjects away from our speeches? Like
Yeah, I think
making
you've
sure
hit
that we
the,
never cover those?
you've brought out the right color to it. So it's basically to bring out a hopeful note. And what is a hopeful note? Suppose, like you said, that some things are not right in this world. We have to do something. So I am sure that someone in the world has done something around it. So that brings out a hopeful or a positive note. Otherwise, we can say that this thing will be better by doing this. Someone must have done it. Otherwise, why will the audience trust it? So someone must have done it. If we do it, this is how things will become better. And in fact, in our CC manual, in the persuasive speaking project, there is this part called visualization. Just, so, so there is this part called the visualization where you bring out what will happen when the persuasion is followed through, or we absorb it and take it forward. So that's what my idea was, to bring it out on a hopeful or a positive note, so that the people can have faith on their message. So the way you solve a problem or the solution that you're giving has some credibility. Does that answer your question really to some extent? Okay.
Really good on
Thank
Yeah, thank you. It does give me ideas to tackle such subjects. Thank you.
Great, great. So any other questions from anyone?
Rudra, you just,
Anyone go first? Raj, DTM Raj, you'd like
Rudra,
to go first?
you just said that when you're on the stage, you should leave everything, your pride, your, anything which is in your mind. So when you were giving your module, maybe there's somebody was waiting outside to speak to you. Was that in your mind when you were giving this module?
No, I was not. So it was my mother, and she came in, and I responded to her. And to tell you the truth, if it had happened 3 or 4 years ago, I would have forgotten what I would have said next. So this was the level of preparation I had to have. Everything planned out before. So the idea that we are accommodating ourselves to make mistakes has what made me more flexible to make changes, to adapt, and to still come out confidently in the rest of the speech. So that's what I meant. That if there is some interruption or there is something that went wrong in your speech, it should not spoil the rest of your speech.
Thank you.
Okay, Devina, your question.
So I have a couple I'll start with in the flow of how I wrote them. In terms of the hook, Rudra, do you write it first or do you write your entire speech and then try and figure out what?
So the order does not really matter. So write it down whenever you are able to get a good hook. So the first thing you should know is what is the message. You start with the message and then hook or the blurb or the conclusion or the supporting points. They all can come in any order wherever you want. So you can always write one and then you don't like it, you replace it. So that also happens.
Okay. So you don't start with the story, but with the message.
Yeah. Main thing is the message, and then how you build on top of it will change with time.
Okay. The other thing I struggle with a lot is the length of this speech. In terms of like, I got some good ideas definitely on how to compress a speech, but just in general, when I try to deliver speeches which I feel strongly about, as you rightly pointed out, I tend to get not for me you pointed out, but in general that I get really emotional about my content and I tend to overshoot time. So, how do you disassociate yourself with your content? Any tips to I mean, it's easy to say not be emotional about the content, but how do you get there?
Yeah, so the way I started doing it is I don't remember who said it, but someone else said that if you have a really good speech, try and see whether you can remove the first and the last paragraph and the speech still stays good. So at the start, I used to write a lot of fluff. So introduction, this is what I'm going to do, this is what is going to happen, then get into the material, then after that. So that fluff, that was the first paragraph I used to just delete. So I saw it increased in value. So things, after removing parts of the speech, after cutting them down, things used to be better for me. And sometimes the damage was already done. Like I had refined the speech so many times and the structure was so tight, removing anything would be a problem. So that you have to, at that time, have an escape plan. The escape plan is like, when you see the red card, what do? You plan for about, in a humorous speech, especially, you should plan for 6 minutes. In an international speech, you should always plan for like 6 minutes, 45 seconds, or 7 minutes. So that is what, definitely don't go for 7, maybe 6.5, 6 7 minutes 45. And sometimes on stage, time just flies. You don't know how, but you're at half of your speech and you see the green card. It happens. So you should always have an escape hatch. I learned it the hard way after getting disqualified, but those things we should do. So that's my message to you. These are the two things that really help me.
Yeah, I didn't mean to sprinkle salt on my wounds.
No, it's okay. So next, any questions from anyone?
Yeah. Hi, Rudra. This is Neha.
Yeah.
Just want to ask two questions. First is, what is the best way to connect with the audience? Is it by asking question, or there are other ways? And the second is the title of the speech. Is it has to be again a hook, or it can be the message?
So in my opinion, like I stated earlier also, everything in your speech should be very tightly associated with the message. So the title as well. And the title is a great opportunity for you to introduce some part of the message already before you start the speech. So the hook, the title can be part of the hook. Somebody hears the title and they just love it and they want to hear more about the speech. So the title obviously plays a very important part. Many people have used it very creatively. So there was this one contestant in the World Finals in 2016. Later, he won in 2019, Aaron Beverly. He had a 56-word title. So there are many ways to use the title, and you're right. So the title can be used to give part of your message, to also give a perspective to your message, to also give the full message, like Muhammad Kathani did, the power of words, or part of your message, like Dhananjay did, like I see something. And then the rest of the message he completed in his speech. So a lot of ways to use it. I won't give some opinions, but definitely take a look at the title.
And the first question, the best way to connect with the audience?
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. So I feel the best way to connect is with emotion. It's implicit connection. Explicit would be like you ask them a question. That is explicit connection. Or it would be a rhetoric is an implicit connection. Rhetoric is like, do you feel the way I feel? That is rhetoric. Or maybe putting them in your perspective. If you were in that situation, you would not have felt as guilty as you are feeling right now, or something like that. So you putting a person, placing it in a situation, or you're asking them a rhetoric, or you're connecting with some emotion. Like humor is the easiest, obviously, to connect, and that's why our activity is centered around that. So I'll talk about a little bit about humor. But other ways to connect, you can make them emotional, like Mohammad Khatani did in his speech, the two videos I showed. So those are really good ways to connect with emotion. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
Hi, Rudra, this is Shifpriya. I have one question. How many characters should ideally be in a international speech contest? It's important for you, the audience to get to know them. At the same time, it should have some amount of complexity also. So what do you think is an appropriate number in terms of building characters?
Yes, good question. I think there's one character already in your speech, that is you. And most of the times, if it is in like personal story, you are already there. So apart from you, I generally try to not keep more than 2 other characters. If 2 is also too much, many people have 1 character apart from themselves, and the other person, maybe other character may not be that much developed. But if you are going to develop more than 3 characters in your speech, it's going to be really difficult. So keep that in mind. You only have 7 minutes, so maybe 2.5 minutes of character development at max.
Great. Thank you so much.
So one last question, because we are almost at red. Okay, we are at red. So any questions if you have after this workshop, feel free to connect with me. Devina has my number. She can share it on the WhatsApp or my email address. So you're most welcome to connect with me later on for any questions. But for now, I hand over the podium once again to distinguished Toastmaster Devina. Over to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rudra. That was a wonderful workshop. We'll jump straight into the activity. If you want to take a sip of water, please do that. And in the meantime, I'll entertain the audience. Or are you good?
I'm good. We can go for the activity.
All right, wonderful. So let's join our hands once again for the wonderful and amazing Rudradev Roy Chaudhary, and just walk us through whatever you have in stocks.
Thank you so much, Devina. And this activity is going to be pretty short. I just wanted to bring out a little bit of the 2 things I talked about. So one is the bringing out and adapting to impromptu changes in your speech. And the second is to connect with the audience in form of humor or punchlines. So there's this beautiful game I saw in one of the open mics I went to, and it's called I Want to Break Up With You. And it is called that way because that is the line you start off with, and you have a subject, any subject. So that subject is, suppose, maybe clock. I want to break up with you because you're always so strict on time and I don't like that. You get that? So that subject or that object that we are going to do it with will be given by me, suppose. And then we will take turns. It's not very strictly that some particular person has to say it, but as and when you have some punchline in mind, please feel free to unmute yourself and give that line. Okay, don't worry about being stupid. It's just a small exercise where all your punchlines are funny because they are coming out impromptu, and it's easy to do as well. Okay, so anybody who wants to suggest any line, any subject, I can do a few like demonstrations for all of you so that you're more comfortable. Any subject you want to go with? Anybody?
Rain.
Train, yeah, you heard the train, right? Train, I want to break up with you because I'm not really good at long distance relationships. You see, it's easy. Well, anything you associate with it, and it becomes funny. Any other word anybody wants to give? Pen. Yeah. Pen, I want to break up with you because these days I don't like how love letters travel so slow.
Toastmasters.
Toastmasters, I want to break up with you because you speak all the time and never listen. Okay.
Good one.
So now you got the idea. Now I'm not going to do any more. Okay. Cell phone. Okay. Cell phone, I want to break up with you because I have to charge you before every night. Okay. I know that was like not very logical. Sometimes it doesn't come out that way. But it's okay. So now the floor is over to you. Anybody? No, it's not a particular volunteer. Whenever you find a line, please say it out loud. Okay. I will give a very simple subject. I will give science. Is it okay? Science.
I want to break up with you because you're too difficult to understand.
Ah, that's good. Nice. Okay. Anybody else? So please do it as you want. Yeah.
I want to break up with you because there are so many. Because you have got so many chemical formulas in you.
So many formulas in it. Okay, very nice. Let's do this. Raise your hand and then I'll call you so that like there's no interruption. Okay, Samod was next. Sorry, Sandeep.
Hi, Science. I want to break up with you because you have artificial intelligence in you. I don't
Okay, you're not intelligent by yourself. That's funny. Yes, Devina.
Science, I want to break up with you because I've had enough of you in 2 years of school.
Oh, nice. Okay, school love. Yes, Rolly.
Hi, Science. I want to break up with you because there's just too many facts and no emotion.
Good, good. Yes, Geeta.
Hi, Science. I want to break up with you because you're too practical. You're too practical.
Yeah, too practical. That's okay. Also, there's a tip here. If you want, you can also go into sub aspects like physics, chemistry, math. These will help you get more lines. So not just generic science. You can do that. Okay. Anybody else? Next, raise of hands. Also, who have participated can also do it again. It's not that it's only once you have to do it. Okay, you can add more lines. Is anybody else thinking of anything? Shipriya, yes.
Hi, Science. I want to break up with you because we have no chemistry.
Ah, this see, that's so common. This is a very nice one. Yeah. Next. Yes, Devina.
Hi, Science, I want to break up with you because, like everything else in life, you were forced onto me by my parents.
Oh, that one was really like brutal, but nice. Yes. Next. Okay. Yes, Anush. Yeah.
Hi, Science. I want to break up with you because we are not biologically compatible.
Ah, nice. Yes. Anshupriya, you raised your hand or?
Yeah, hi, Science. I want to break up with you because I can never understand you.
Ah, that's good. That's generic. Okay. Anybody else wants to try? Yes, Roji.
Mr. Science, I think it's time that we broke up. No one else wants you either. They're all breaking up with you.
Okay, let's try a new word. No, very random word. Let's now try a little more difficult one. Okay. How about shoes? Shoes? Okay.
I shoes. I want to break it. I want to break up with you because you are pinching too much.
Yeah.
You're pinching too much.
Pinching too much. Ah, that's nice. Okay. Next. Anybody? Yes,
Hi,
Devina.
I want to break up with your shoes because your bite marks leave a lot of
Oh,
marks.
oh, oh. Nice, nice. Okay. Yes, Devina.
Hi, Shoes, I want to break up with you. You're just not the right fit.
Is not the right fit. Yes, yes. That's good. Anybody else? Yeah. Yes, Rodi.
Hi, Shoes. I think it's time we break up. It's already so suffocating. You've closed me from every part.
Nice, nice. Good. Yes, Anshupriya.
Hi, Shoes. I want to break up with you because you give me too much comfort.
Oh, I think you want to get out of your comfort zone. Okay, very
Yes.
nice. Yeah. Yes, yes, Geeta. I can't hear you. Try again. Still can't hear you. Something went wrong with your mic. You're on mute. Okay, we'll come to Geeta again. Yes, Devina.
Hi, my gorgeous heels. I have to break up with you. You've just become too high maintenance.
Ah, this I was looking for. I thought, why is it not coming? High maintenance. You cost too much. Okay. Yes.
I want to go ahead.
Yes, Samud.
Yeah. Hi, Suze. I want to break up with you because I hate pairs.
You hate pairs. Yeah. You always come with someone else. Okay. I can't never have you alone. Yes. Nice one. Very nice. Okay. Anybody else wants to give it a try?
Hi, Shoes. I want to break up with you because I hate being the third wheel.
That's related to Samod's one, but that's good. Very nice. Okay. Yes, Roli.
Hi, Shoes. I want to break up because you make me want to run.
Yeah, running shoes. Good, good.
Hi, shoes. I want to break up with you because when it's raining, I have to wear you.
I have to wear you. Okay, rainy shoe, rain boots.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, good. Yes, Geeta.
Hi, Shoes. I have to break up with you because every time you get wet, you get weird.
Every time? What?
Every time you get wet, you get weird.
Oh God, please keep it clean, guys.
I'm in train, Rudra.
Because we are live on YouTube,
Why are you
okay? It's
laughing?
still
I'm in
Toastmaster.
train.
Okay, no, but it's a very good line. No, in the improv setup, it's all okay. It's all acceptable. Yes, honey, you wanted to try?
Hi, am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible. Please go first, Geeta.
Hi, shoes. I want to break up with you because you don't give me any more. The shoelaces are not giving me any more solace.
Oh, shoeless is not giving solace. That's nice. Good, like word play here. Nice, nice. Yes, honey, you wanted to try. I saw that you were like.
Yes. I've raised my hand. So, hey, shoes, I want to break up with you because you are too difficult to choose.
So many options. Nice, nice. Okay, so do we have time for one more? Maybe we can do one more object. Oh,
Yes,
green
we
card.
should.
Okay.
We should.
Good. Let's go for one more object. So
I want to go
let's
for
go.
it.
Yes.
I want to go for it.
This last one, shoes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Go for shoes.
Hey, shoes, I want to break up with you because you are not of my type.
Shoes not my type. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So next word I'm giving. Now let's make it sort of the evaluations we have in advanced clubs, that once the punchline is given, try to give something that is unrelated to it, and try to give something that is very close fit to that particular object. Something like maybe won't be very appropriate for another object. Suppose you say that I want to break up with you because I don't like you, is a very generic one. So that's something, that's a challenge for you. Okay. So last object is books. Let's go. Books.
Hi, book. I don't like you because you're too much of an open book.
Yeah, that's good. Open up.
Yeah, hi, book. I want to break up with you because you make me sleep every time.
Make you fall asleep. You're so boring. Yeah, that's good.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because I can't argue with you.
Argue with you. Okay, books are silent. Nice. Okay, these are very good lines. Next, anybody else? Books.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because you're too hard on the outside.
Oh, hardcovers. Okay, you need a paperback then. Next.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because you're just all illustration, no message.
Okay, nice. Yeah, think of the types of books that will help you get more material.
I want.
No, let Raj complete once. Yeah.
I want to. Hi book. I want to break up with you because I have to carry with you, but I used to think that someday you will carry with me. So you will carry me. Okay, I will repeat.
I did not get it. Can you repeat once?
Yeah. Hi book. I want to break up with you because it's not me who carries you, but it is you. Who you know what is?
You who carries me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Next, Geeta.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because I could never judge you looking at you by the cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, yes. That one was nice. Yes, honey.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because I'm best friends with Audible now.
Oh. Yes. Anyone else?
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because you keep changing. Earlier, you were just a book. Now you're an ebook. So I want to live with someone who's constant.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, Anshupriya.
Hi, book.
Hi, book. I want to break up. Hi, book. I want to break up with you because you never allow me to meet my favorite character.
That's so deep. Yes, Vinita.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because you are always preaching.
Oh, yeah. Practice, don't preach. Huh? Books can't practice. So that's good. Yes, Devina.
Hi, my notebook. I want to break up with you because I don't like that Shripriya wrote all over you.
Oh, what's so possessive about your book? Okay. The personal vendetta coming out in activities. Good. No, but very, very nice lines, guys. So I just want to.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you. Okay. Can I go one last?
Yes, go.
Hi, book. I want to break up with you because you never converse. You just tell me what the meaning is. You're just a dictionary.
Just a dictionary. Okay, you want to break up with the dictionary. That was creative. Why I took this activity is because it talks about how to come up with improv punchlines or impromptu punchlines. You have a line and you have a subject, so how to associate some punches with it. So this maybe will help you connect more to the audience. So that was just one part of being a humorous speaker. So now we are at the end of this activity, but I hope that you will keep practicing. And there are lots of such activities happening in open mic, so do come whenever you are free. And all the best to all of you for the next contest season. I will see you again. Over to you, Devina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Chaudhary. Please don't leave us just yet. Please stay till the end of the meeting. We have something in store for you. I just thought I'd put it out there. Moving on, dear guests and our dear members, I hope you enjoyed this session thoroughly. We have one more module coming up and we have a presenter here as well. Please welcome Toastmaster Mayank. Toastmaster Mayank is a marketing and branding consultant working as the business head of Blue Masons, an interior designing startup based in Kolkata. In 2019 and 20 contest cycle, that is the last cycle where we witnessed this whole shift to the online mode, he had podium finish in both the international speech contest and the evaluation speech contest at the district level. Currently, he is serving as Area K1 Director for District 41. Today, he is here to deliver his module titled Level Up Your Virtual Presence. Please put your hands together. Toastmaster Mayank, level up your virtual presence. Level up your virtual presence. Toastmaster Mayank.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? A happy new year to all of you. And I'm sure that you all are enthusiastic toward what's coming forward. Today, I have a story to tell to all of you. And I hope I am in the perfect position, wearing the right clothes with the right spirit to totally engrasp you with the story. So what do you think about my background? It is good. It is okay. There's light coming from the background, or there's a dark background that I have, or I'm perfectly not visible because my torso is like literally half cut. So my hand gestures that I have below my torso will not be visible. So I feel it's not really the right way. So let me just turn around the camera and see if that's a little better position. All right. Seems okay. A lot of people at Toastmasters talk like this also. They just have their camera like this and they will be literally zooming into the screen. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good evening. That's how we do. Now, let me just take 10 seconds to set up my camera and then you give me a feedback of how it is.
Stand up, Udum.
Mayank, you are on
Right
mute.
now.
No, we are not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now? Does
Very
this
well.
background
Loud and
sounds
clear.
much better?
Yes, it does.
You have a light background, you have a contrasting cloth, and you have absolutely clear background with no, curtains aside or no fancy virtual background that people have to literally use to hide whatever is there happening in the background. And I also have an additional light here so that my face is a little more visible than normal. All right. So today we are going to focus on what we can do in a virtual background to ensure that we level up our presence with respect to majorly the international speech contest, but also a few other things that you should keep in mind and a few tips and tricks that you can use because there are a lot of leeways that we have right now because of virtual podium usage and because of the features that we have in Zoom. So let me just run through all of them one by one because I have created a section. So first of all, what are the basic things that we need whenever we are in a Zoom platform and whenever we are here out with our video? The first thing is equipments. So make sure that you have your laptop, phone, tablet, PC, or whatever camera device that you're using ready, set with you before you are supposed to come on screen. It's not like, okay, I'm not in the right position right now, so just give me 10 seconds to switch my video on like I did at the beginning. And then people commenting you that, boss, there is light coming from your background, so please can you adjust your camera? Because that's not the right setup. If you are coming here delivering a speech, you can't waste your first 30 seconds and just setting up your background. That creates a bad first impression. Second is with respect to your camera. So there are a lot of people who have the pre-installed cameras in laptop, but there are a few others who have additional camera device installed. So if you want to know about what kind of cameras you can use, there is Logitech 720, Logitech 350, which are additional cameras that increases the resolution of your existing camera. So that can help you get a more better clarity on the entire device that you're using. The third thing that you can use here that you need to take care of is your earphones, your audio. How is it coming? Whether it is coming from the inbuilt speaker or you're using a wired earphone. So now just assume that if I had a wired earphone, I would have to literally stand here because there is a length constraint that I have. So it's better to use a wireless audio device that you can put in your ears and your hands are not really clinging with that, that particular wire that hangs from your ear till the jack. So these are the basic three equipments that you need. And another equipment that you might need is an additional camera light. So here's one light that I'm using. So just see the kind of impact that it creates on your face when you have an additional light coming from the front. Now, obviously you can't have it at the back because that's going to degrade the video quality. So we try to keep it up front so that it is hidden from the camera, but it's still giving a 180-degree reflection on your face. So these are the basic three equipments that you need whenever you are working with any kind of video. Now, the next thing that you need to keep in mind is the backgrounds that you have. So there are a lot of possibilities. First is the background existing in your place, whether you are at office or your home. So I showed you two backgrounds that I had. There's another background that I have, which I could have used, is the wall with my curtains. Now, again, why didn't I use that? Because it has a lot of pattern, and that pattern will become a distraction when I'm delivering a speech. So if I have a plain background, which is of a light color, I would prefer to use that so that by wearing my dark clothes, I give a contrast to the wall, and so that my entire physical presence along with the edges of my body are perfectly visible for the audience. So your background plays a very important role. Now, let me give you one very tricky thing that I did in one of my table topics, which is a play of background, but really helps you create a very different presence on screen. And it's very simple. You go to Zoom settings, you go to preferences. I know a lot of you have explored virtual backgrounds, but I'm not sure whether you have explored video filters. So if you simply go to, one second. Right. So there's something called video features here, which is called video filters, where you will see a HUH coming out of the platform. All right. I can't share my screen where I have the settings of my video on. So I'll definitely share a screenshot with Devina. Yeah. Huh. So Devina has it on right now. So that's what I really wanted to do. And that's how I wanted to show it to you. So these are additional features that you can use. And obviously with respect to virtual backgrounds, I will come to that part later on because that's a separate section. Because in international speech contest, there is no restriction with respect to videos, virtual backgrounds. But with respect to table topics and evaluation contests, you're not supposed to use them because there is a possibility that you have someone standing beside you and you have hidden them with your virtual background and they are literally telling you what to state next. So that's why you're not allowed to use virtual backgrounds in table topics and in evaluation contest. But in ISE, you can definitely use it. Now, next thing is with respect to the lighting that you have in the room. So it's very important that you have a well-lit room. Now, this depends on the timing of the day as well. Let's say the contest is happening between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That time you have the lighting coming from one of your windows as well. So if it's possible for you to get natural light, ensure that you do that. Obviously, don't have the sound coming in, but make sure that your curtains are removed so that you have natural light coming in, because natural light brings a lot of luminity in your face and it gives a more realistic experience to the audience. And that's what I did during my contest. But let's say if your contest is in the evening and there's no natural light present there, then you have to ensure that light is coming from a part which is in front of you. The lighting cannot be on the back side because, as I showed you in the initial, it's going to reflect. Second, it cannot be on the left or the right. Why? Because if, let's say, the writing is coming from my right, that is your left right now, you will get a shadow towards my left. So if I am walking, there will be a shadow here as well, which is happening. For example, if you see right now the shadow is leveling my hand because the light is coming from the front. Had the light been coming from here, this shadow would have been here, all right, outside the screen, which would create a kind of a distraction for the audience. That is why I recommend that you don't have lights on the left or the right. Simply have it on the front and try to find a position like that. All right. And in between the session, because I am concentrating on my video also right now so that I don't go out of the screen. And plus I can show you the entire shadow aspect. So if you have any doubts, simply unmute and ask me. You can stop me in between. That's not a problem at all. All right. Okay. Next, we have something called the aspect of clothes. I know it's not really that important when you are delivering a normal casual speech in a normal club meeting, but if you are in contest, the only kind of professionalism that we can bring in the platform of Zoom is via your attire and your presence. Your speech might have the best of the content, but if your attire doesn't show professionalism and it is not contrasting with the background that you have, then you are definitely going to be somewhere substandard. Your performance could become better if you have the right attires. So ensure that whenever you are participating in a contest, you're dressed professionally and your clothes color is in contrast with the background. So if I had, let's say, a very dark blue background at the back, I would have worn a light gray or a white so that the contrast helps explain my hand gestures and everything. But because I have a light background, I am wearing dark clothes and not even a light shirt, because again, then it would mix it with my background. So I'm wearing both dark and I'm trying to contrast it a little bit. So with respect to clothes, that's my two hoots that I would like to give here. Another thing which is important is camera angle. Now, this is really, really crucial. Whether you're sitting, whether you're standing, your camera angle has to meet 180 degree. Just assume if I'm talking to someone physically, all right, and then I am talking, the person's eye is also here at 180 degree of my eye level. Now, in Zoom also, that is what happens. Some people have their cameras down, so they talk like this. Now, if you are standing here and I'm talking to here, talking to your waist, how does it make sense at all, right? And if my camera is really positioned at, like, let's say 60 degree, you are looking into my eye and I'm looking upwards. That is distracting. How do I understand what you're actually trying to say? How can I see the eyeballs moving around and your expressions? That's really difficult for the audience to grasp. So I would recommend that you definitely see into the camera, not even on the screen, because right now you'll be able to see the difference. Right now I am talking to the screen. My head is around 20 degree down, like it's like at a 160-degree level. But if I'm talking at the camera, you can literally see or feel that I'm talking to you directly in person. Now, there's another trick here. Some people, what they intend to do, when they go on a gallery mode, they can see a lot of people. So they try and see on the screen so that they get comfortable in the entire platform, because it's very distracting and scary to see yourself and talk. Like, I have practiced probably more than 15 times in Zoom only with myself before my ISC finals to get comfortable with myself. So it's really difficult thing to see yourself and keep talking and be emotional in your speech as well. So a lot of people put on the gallery mode so that they have that comfort. But even if you have the gallery mode on, your eyes should be on the camera and not on the gallery. Now, there are a lot of people who want to see, if I am talking and if someone is listening and they have the video on, how are they able to understand? What's their reaction? Whether they are making notes like Devina or they're just listening to me very consistently. So what a lot of people do is they literally look towards the right and a little low, because that is where you see the pop-up of the video of how many people have the videos on. And now I feel like I'm talking to Devina and she's doing, yeah, nodding as per what I'm saying. But for the other part of the audience, I am not contacting them. So your job here is to ensure that you look at the camera. When you're having a frank conversation, it's still understandable. But if you're delivering a speech, you're delivering it for everyone and you shouldn't be partial to anyone. All right. Now, there's another trick here. Some people, they still want to see a lot of people whose videos are on. So what I generally do is, you have the pop-up on the right. If you actually drag the pop-up, it can go to the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen. Bottom is not recommended because again, your head will be down. Top is still recommended because it gets closer to the camera. So I would just simply drag my pop-up and I'll take it to the top. So now I can see everyone. I feel like I'm talking to people. I can see in the camera, and people also feel that I'm at a 180-degree angle with them. So camera angle is pretty important. Now, here you also need to understand that your camera can't be down, can't be up, as I showed you before in the initial first minute. So please ensure that your camera angle is absolutely perfect. With respect to camera angle, with respect to eye angle, I have spoken about it. Now let's talk about the staging area. So in ISC, you will generally see that you need to have hand gestures, body language, and everything. Right now, I'm delivering a normal speech, so it's okay if my torso isn't completely visible. So what I will do is, Right now, my camera is positioned at approximately 4 feet from myself. So that is why you can just see, let's say, up to 40% of my waist. But if I be a little, I just use a little bit of common sense. If you push the camera a little back, your body will be visible a little more. So if I just do it in front of you right now, see, a lot more of my body is visible. I have the virtual screen on, my bad. It wasn't working that time. Sorry. So now you see that a lot of my other hand gestures will also be visible. Now I can completely show to the audience that this is what I want to tell them, right? So it's very important that when you're delivering a international speech contest, make sure that your distance between the camera and you is pretty much okay. And here it comes the necessity of using a wireless earphone. So there are a lot of things available on the market, cheapest, very costly as well. Cheapest also works for ISE. But if you are not able to purchase them or arrange them, don't go with wired earphones. Simply be on speaker. That's more, that's much better than having that wired earphone and that wire hanging in front of you, and then you literally flipping on the wire, it goes down, then you have to bend down, then you have to pick it up. So it's very distracting for the audience and you're losing out on 15 seconds. All right. So this was my another tip here. Another thing with respect to staging area is sometimes you get so much into the flow of the speech that you forget that you are actually on a virtual screen. You feel like I'm still in that conference room of professional speakers. So what you intend to do is you step to the left and you actually cut 30% of yourself, because you are literally in the flow and you don't understand that it is a room and there is a limitation to the camera angle. You again move to your right as well. Devina, just let me know when my time is up, around 5 minutes before. I can see the red card right now itself. Okay, so give me 3-4 minutes, I'll be done with it. Okay. So what I used to do in my international speech contest is I had sticked sellotape, all right, 2-3 layers of sellotape on the left side, on the right side. So when I'm walking, my sellotape used to hit my foot, and I used to understand that this is where is my maximum capacity. I can't go beyond this. Similarly, on the right side. So this is what you need to do, and you need to practice it more often so that you get used to that platform and that stage area. Okay. Now, another thing which is important is the usage of props. So in virtual platform, you have got this facility that you don't really have to show your prop. You can keep it somewhere which is beyond the camera and bring it inside, keep it back. So the inflow and the outflow of the prop has to be used wisely and not abruptly. It's not like I kept it somewhere in front of the audience, which is now distracting them because I had a table in front of me. What I did, a little smart thing I would say, I'm proud of myself, is how I use my prop. I had one single pencil. I brought it in front of the audience. I broke it into two parts and I felt it down. All right. I let it go on the ground, and there was a slight noise as well of the pencil. So now the audience was thinking that his pencil is already broken. And in another part of the speech, when I wanted to talk about the two broken parts, I had two more pencils in my pocket. So I brought that forward. So people used to think that uska pencil to already gir gaya. How did he bring it again? So that's an inflow and outflow of the prop. You have that sound effect of falling pencil as well, and you have that smooth inflow of another two pencils. All right. So that's how you need to use. Now, another thing that I noticed in one of the speeches is someone said knock. There was a knock on the door. He didn't do anything, but there was actually his mother knocking on the door. No one gets to know it, but it's an audio effect that you're bringing into your international speech contest. Another important tip here is how to use virtual backgrounds in international speech contests. So I had one of my mentees when she was delivering a speech about leadership communication, leadership style. So she had 4 leadership styles she wanted to talk about. Now, every time she used to do this, an action of right to left, her virtual screen changed. And obviously her hands were here in front of the audience, but there was a sister who was just clicking on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's another way where you can use your virtual screen and actually make it relatable to your entity. So these are a few tips that you can use. Now, one important thing that I have generally observed as an evaluator and a speaker is oftentimes when we are trying to have a dialogue, a lot of people turn completely 90 degrees and they do the dialogue. Now, here you can't see my entire face, probably just 60% of it. So I recommend that whenever you're doing a dialogue, place it at 45-degree angles and not at 90-degree angles. And obviously you can use those features, like if you're talking to your dad, you look up, baby, you're looking down, but make sure that you're at 45-degree and not more than that. All right, this ensures that you can actually interact with the audience as well as the person you're talking to. Understand that this entire platform is your real estate. All of these things can be used. So let's say if I just do this and there's a pop-up on the left side, which is, let's say, a video filter which has that 1 star that I have actually scored a ribbon, I can say that, okay, this was my achievement during my college, and that ribbon pops up here. So it enhances your speech level. If you remember the world champion, what he did was he held the screen from here and here, he went outside and he came back. Now, that was a fantastic usage, which obviously gave him around 5+ points than other participants. Would have definitely given a 5+ point, because you need to realize that the shift has come, and your chance is now to make sure that you adjust with the shift. You can't really hold on to what you did before. It's time to change yourself and adapt. And here comes the test of adaptability, which I would request you to practice more and more. And believe me, right now, if I am talking, I would love to see more faces on the screen. So, as Toastmasters, as people who will be speaking almost alternate day or alternatively on the video platforms, you would also expect people to see you, to hear you, and you would want them to see them as well. So, if you want to listen to people and see their faces, don't they want to listen to you and see your faces? So, why are we always keeping our videos off? Like, if we can't take out 2 hours when you can keep our videos on without any distraction, are we really carrying forward the Toastmaster spirit we used to have during our physical days? And what will you do when we again start going physical? How are you going to hide your face then? So that's all from my side. And if there's anything that I'm missing out, do let me know. I know it was a little fast because we are running short on time, but if you have any doubts, you can shoot it right away.
Mayank, I have a question. This is Roli.
Yes. Yes, Roli.
So you wear specs and the light is placed right in front of you. At times, I could see the light shining in your frames, in the glass of frame. How can we avoid that?
You can't really avoid that. There's no possibility, because light reflection, you get those spectacles which reflect light, but it's not 100% proof. All right, so you will have 80% of those reflections coming in. The trick that photographers uses, they ask you to bring your spectacles a little down, so that at least some of the reflection can go. What I did in my finals was, someone actually told me that, Mayank, I could not see your emotions from the eyes because your spectacles were covering up. So if you see my semi-finals, I had my specs on, but if you see my finals, I had removed my specs because my speech demanded so. If my speech is not demanding him, and if my power is literally very high, and if I can't see the audience, then obviously I'll have to have my specs on, but mine was a pretty low, so I could adjust with that. But you really can't help the spectacles thing unless you get a very high-end spectacle.
I think
Any other
someone
doubt?
has a question there.
Yes,
So,
tell me. Someone, do you have a question?
I don't have any questions right now, but one question I just wanted to ask. What are your tips regarding the when you are in virtual stage with your camera, that some people comes very close, because the person, the world champion this year, he came very close to the camera to show up the the facial expression, and then he went back. So what are your points regarding that? How does it captures the audience attentions, and what is your benefits?
That's a very wise observation, first of all, Samod, because there is a reason why some people come closer to the camera. And the reason is when you want to emphasize something. When I really want the audience that this is my message and this is the action point that I want you to take home, I'll come and talk directly into your face. And then I'll go back when I have my casual statements carrying forward. All right. So that is the reason why a few people come closer to the camera. But in your entire speech, you can't be talking like this. All right. Most of the part of the speech should be like this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mayank, for taking out time and being with us here today. That's amazing that you could make it. I know you have an exam next week. Also, you have the district officers training next week. But I'm so glad that you still took out time for us. Just stay here till the end of the meeting. We have something in store for you.
Sure.
Not much, but we'd love to have you till the end of the meeting. With that,
Thank you.
it's time now to wrap up the workshops. And I hope you all have gotten a lot of points to take back and work on. I for sure have learned a lot, not just in terms of how I can improve my speeches, but as the Vice President Education, I also have gotten some insights into how to trick all our members into adapting some of the aspects that were talked about today, and I'll be working on those, and you'll see it very soon. I hope you make it to the rest of the meetings as well. I just want to close by saying how grateful I am to the two speakers who came here today. Before I hand over the stage to our presiding officer, as promised, we will hear feedback from our timer. So I would like to invite Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta to please present his report.
Thank you, Facilitator, to Devina Chaturvedi, DTM. Mukesh Thakur, as the President for the opening of this meeting, time allotted was 1 minute. He took 1 minute and 29 seconds. For the club mission, time allotted was 1 minute. He took 30 seconds. For the introduction of guest, time allotted was 1 minute. He took 59 seconds. For the business section, time allotted was 6 minutes. He took 4 minutes and 16 seconds. Now, coming on to the introduction of the facilitator, time allotted was 1 minute and he consumed 35 seconds. Facilitator, Devina Chaturvedi, Toastmaster, regarding the structure, the time allotted was 2 minutes. She took 1 minute and 50 seconds. For the introduction of role players, the time allotted was 2 minutes and she took 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Facilitator cast the Rudradev Roy Chaudhary, time allotted was 1 minute and she took 48 seconds. Workshop, which was taken by Rudradev Roy Chaudhary, time allotted was 40 minutes and he took 44 seconds and 44.5 seconds. Question and answer session. So as he had said that he would be curtailing it to 10 minutes. So I took the time as time allotted as 10 minutes and he took 10 minutes and in 30 seconds. For the activities, time allotted was 15 minutes and it took 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Facilitator invites the second speaker of module master. Time allotted was 1 minute and she took 56 seconds. Mayank Mohota, for the workshop, time allotted was 20 minutes. He took 22 minutes and 43 seconds. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Raj, for that detailed report. With that, we come to the close of this session. It's been a wonderful experience for me to have heard so many new things. After having gone through so many workshops and so many workshops from Rudra himself over all these years, it just amazes me how he brings in something new every time, and it just shows how much effort he puts into his learning to be able to put that forward to us. So thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Rudra. And Mayank, I know how easy it was to convince him. I just had to ask him once. He first said, I have a TLI. I said, it's in the evening, you can manage. Rudra's also coming. Then he said, I have GMAT. I was like, come on, what's 15 minutes? And then he said, yes. And it was just the most wonderful feeling for me to have people in Toastmasters who will say yes despite everything else that is happening in their life and take out time for Toastmasters. So thank you so much, Mayank. With that, I'll invite our presiding officer, that's our president of the club, back on stage to close the meeting. Back to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur.
Thank you very much to Distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi, as well as both of the trainers. Can we have a huge round of applause for both of the trainers, as all the members and the guests? Before I come to the feedback from the meeting, can anyone tell me how we started the meeting, with what example? Yeah, Devina might have written it. And you have to unmute.
Can I say?
Yeah.
So humans are different than other animals because we are social and we are here to learn from each other and to help each other also.
Thank you very much. So we are out of all the species, we are the human that evolved much than any other species. And as a human being, we have evolved many steps today because we had our two mind-blowing trainers, Rudra as well as Mayank. Can we have a huge round of applause once again for them? Now, since the entire meeting was hijacked by our trainers only, Rudra and Mayank, I would like to hear feedback from both of the trainers. Can I start with Rudra? How did you like our audience? Were we comfortable for you? Your feedback for the meeting. We can't hear you, Rudra. Rudra, we can't hear you.
He's connecting. He didn't expect someone asking him a question.
Yeah, I had to change my. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I did not expect. I actually forgot that I had switched my device after the workshop, so the audio was not connected. But thank you, Mukesh, for asking for my feedback, and thank you, Devina, for the invitation. I had been to professional speakers more than 2 years ago in a virtual setup. At that time, it was not the what is it the in thing, and but it was a wonderful experience back then and today as well. It is always a joy just to see how well designed the agenda is and how well you stick to it. So that's something that a lot of clubs struggle with, but I see that it's been done really well here. And of course, it was a very fun event today. I tried this thing for the first time. This I want to break up with you game. It's seen only in other places like all the other improv storytelling or stand-up comedy open mics, but this went really well. And also, I enjoyed Mayank's workshop today and all the other parts of all the others, seeing old friends like Devina, you, Mukesh, Priya, Roli, Rupinder. So, all of you and Raj sir, thank you for inviting, and I wish everyone all the very best. Bye.
Thank you very much, Rudra. We have a small token of appreciation. Can you virtually come on the stage and receive this certificate? Can we have a huge round of applause for Rudra?
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is wonderful.
Thank you. I will get it delivered to you. Now, Mayank, your feedback about our meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mukesh. So it is the first time that I have come to professional speakers as a trainer. I might have attended some meeting probably long time back, 1.5 years back, but that was just a short event. And this is my first meeting, and I feel you guys literally live up to the name that you have of the club, being very professional. From communication from the team, coming from the team, with respect to WhatsApp forwards or with respect to the mails, with respect to agenda, the posters, and everything, you literally live up to the name that you have. And I feel that the kind of community and the kind of members that you have in house are exceptionally experienced and exceptionally professional because if I'm not wrong, you have a good bunch of people who are serving as district officers or have served as district officers, which means that that kind of outlook automatically comes to your club. And I feel that the regular membership continues of those particular members, which I've been seeing since the last 3 years, talks a lot about the kind of bonding that you share amongst each other and the kind of loyalty that you have for your club. So I would say that it was lovely being here. I know that the workshop was short and crisp, and it could have been lengthened to probably half an hour also, but I didn't want to do that because already Rudro had spoken for 1 hour, and I know that in virtual we all have a capacity to consume just a limited content. But I hope that whatever we discussed today was worth improving your international speech contest. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come here.
Thank you very much. And we have a complaint that this is first time at professional speaker, so we should not have that complaint.
It's gonna be very often. Just let me get done with my exams in the DOPTP. I'll be very often here.
Okay, please come on the virtual stage to receive this certificate of appreciation.
Shall I do the same action as Ritu did?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I hear from the rest of the guests? And I can see Sandeep. Sandeep, can we hear from you?
Yes, I seriously like Rudra section and the Mayank section. And tomorrow, day after tomorrow on Tuesday, I am TMOD in my HSBC club. So I'm preparing for that. I have prepared a lot content, and today is Sunday, and that's why I log in today as well on my system and try to capture, the few content out of it. And I like it. I noted down few things, and I'll implement it in my next, the TMOD first TMOD session on Tuesday. So wish me all luck for that.
All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I hear from Sneha?
This was a great learning experience from both Rudra and even Mayank. And it was really great to visit this club. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sneha. Hope to see you again. I can see Margarita here. Welcome, Margarita. Can I hear your free feedback? Margarita, can you hear us? I think she is not here. Okay, so can I hear from Arshi?
Hi, those were some really valuable insights from both Rudra and Mayank. I'd probably be watching it again on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I hope I have covered all of the guests. I have not left anyone. Thank you once again, Mayank and Rudra. Now it's time for our members to present their feedback. I can see here something. Apology, I have some issue with the mic. Thanks for the wonderful meeting. Okay, Margarita, you can share your feedback through chats if you were able to attend the entire meeting or as much as you were able to attend. Thank you very much for being with us. Now it's time for our members to share their feedback and if they want any help in their short-term goals or any expectations, any help they want to offer. So members.
So first and foremost, I would like to thank Devina for organizing this session. It's really, really helpful considering that some of us are trying for international speech contest. Secondly, I would also request Devina and Roli to take out time this week because I have to redecide on my short-term goals. So whenever you ladies have time, please help me out. Thank you.
I don't know about Roli, but I'm in the same boat as you. So Roli, please take
Roli, help us.
Save us from ourselves.
Maybe
Oh,
we
Mukesh sir.
Yes.
Roli, we need Roli.
I need help.
We need Roli.
Raj sir was, I think, adding a constructive suggestion.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that I'm also facing some little difficulty about my short-term goals. So we can have a small meeting of say 15 minutes to half an hour someday, so that all of us can be on the same platform and discuss it.
Okay, I also need some help, and for this I need help of maybe Roli, Devina, and Rudra. You may also help. So I am writing 1000 words every day, and for that I use Grammarly to check my grammars. And every day I find out of around 1100 words, around 30 to 40 grammatical mistakes, and these mistakes are mostly some punctuation mistakes, some article, and some tense. So when there are complex sentences, then there are tense mistakes. So every day I notice it. I know what are the mistakes, but these are not reducing. I am using it for now. It's 200 plus days, 214, 15 days, but it is not still reducing. So what I can do to reduce
So
it?
are you making the same mistakes or different ones?
Almost same.
So I
So
think
like punctuation, where should be comma, like comma should be before and there are some words like own. I often use own, and Grammarly says it is not required here. So these kinds of mistakes.
MT, if you can share a couple of samples of your pre-Grammarly write-up and your after Grammarly write-up, or just a Grammarly report. I'm sure Grammarly sends you a weekly or a monthly blast. So if you can send those reports, it'll be easier for us to kind of give you more specific feedback in terms of what you can do. Because the thing is, your challenge is not in terms of effort. So then it's very easy to solve. Then it's easier to solve, because if it's not effort, if it's something technical, then that can be resolved with just
Yeah,
imparting knowledge.
the problem is I am not thinking when I am writing. I am writing everything impromptu. So whatever is in my subconscious has comes out.
So why don't you do one thing before you run it through Grammarly? Take some time and edit it yourself first, and see how many mistakes you can correct before you run it through Grammarly.
I think if I correct myself, I will correct all of the mistakes.
Then it's fine. No, in any case,
Nobody can write up. So Mukesh, Shipra here. Nobody can actually, when you're writing for the first time, it's always called a first draft for a reason, because the objective is to articulate what is there in your mind into paper. So nobody does 100% good job. And as a matter of fact, I make a lot of grammatical errors, punctuation. I also make a lot of spelling mistakes. But the objective of the first draft is not to perfect them, but it is just to put your thoughts. So the it is not about am I doing it for the first time. Check out whether you're able to identify the trend in terms of those mistakes, and if you're able to rectify it, and if you're able to solve all of them, then that means that you don't need anyone else's help. Then you can just look into Grammarly after putting in your edited version to see that in case if there is something you're missing out. Is this what you were trying to say also, DC?
yes, exactly.
I also have a couple of suggestions. So Divina and Shifria have pointed out correctly. One, if you look at the draft yourself, identify the errors, chances are that the next time you're writing, you will not make that mistake, because you'll remember the effort that it took to correct those mistakes.
I have
When
tried
Grammarly,
I have tried it.
checking it yourself and then correcting it. Okay. Uh, Also, I would like to just take a glance at where, like, some of your documents, wherever you feel that you are making the same mistake, the same kind of mistakes again and again. If you're repeating the mistakes, then there's probably a grammar rule that you're not aware of, or you don't have a tip to keep it in mind for you. Sometimes we know the rule, but it's difficult for us to implement it when we are writing or speaking. And the idea is like I had my English teacher tell me that it's always an I before an E except after C. So, sometimes it's just those tips that you need to keep in mind for yourself so that you'll stop making those mistakes. Those are more catchy to remember. It's a so I can only look at whatever you're doing and then provide those tips. It's
I'll share.
difficult to just give a blast on tenses.
I'll share some of that. I have to choose which one I have to share.
So share the one you were least impressed with.
Okay. Okay.
That will help us.
Rupinder is raising his hand
Yeah.
virtually as well as physically.
Let's see.
So yes, now it's stage is all yours, Rupinder.
Though we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
You're still not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
How did you fit in that small frame?
Okay. If you are done with the jokes. See, I think I caught the conversation midway. I was getting phone calls in between. The and probably this will seem out of context, but writing to speak and writing to read are two very different things. Keep that in mind while you're writing, because when you speak, you have a tendency to use the passive voice. But when you write, you are asked to write in an active voice to be more succinct. And that is a requirement of writing to read, not writing to speak. So these days, I don't write my speeches at first. I first speak them out, I record them, and then I write them using the conversational tone that I have. So if you start by writing your speech, you will write it as if people would read it. You will not write
No,
it
no,
as
it's
you would speak
it's
it.
not about writing. It's not about speech writing. It's about something that is in subconscious. Also, changing the subconscious, the rules and the settings, because
So
everything is impromptu.
no, it's not impromptu. Generally, you have an idea what you're going to write about. By now, I think we are sufficiently evolved. We know that there is an opening, you will have a body, and you will have a conclusion.
No, 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 no. I write anything. I write anything. I
I'm
take
talking
a
from a
random quote.
delivery perspective, not from a writing perspective. They're two very different things.
So I'm not talking about speech writing. I'm just talking about impromptu writing. I just take a random quote from one website and start writing the moment I see it.
Oh, I can give you enough random quotes. I'll
Uh,
send you a URL.
Honey, Anshupriya, anything from? Sorry, empty.
Okay, anyone else? Any other help? So we were talking about having a session about for short-term goals. So when we can have it? Devina, we can go offline now.
But first, do you not want to close it for the guests? Then we'll go offline.
Yeah, okay. So thank you very much everyone for joining us at 125th meeting for professional speakers. I hope to see you once again on 10th of January with more professionalism, more spirit, and with new hopes. Thank you very much, Rudra and Mayanka. And our next meeting starts
Yesterday.
now. Thank you
We
very
should
much.
graduate to yesterday now.